All right, we're on lesson 6. This is our first time learning how to use verbs. We learned how to conjugate in the previous 2 lessons, and if you haven't watched those videos, you got to go back or this won't make sense. So today we're going to learn base 2 plus tie, and then we're going to learn how to tweak that using the adjective box. So my son, who's actually recording this, his name is Ty. It's spelled just like this. But this is a little different. Base 2 Ty is want to verb. So let's go over some verbs we've already learned. We've learned suru. We've learned kudu. We've learned a couple ichidan verbs like taberu, to eat. And then let's do oyogu, to swim. So these 2 are irregular verbs. They have their own weird pattern. This is an ichidan, and this is a yodan. So in our snowman analogy, this would be the top of the snowman, middle of the snowman, and the bottom of the snowman. Again, most verbs are yodan. We only have 2 that fall in the irregular pattern. But for today, you got to learn base 2. So base 2 of suru was she. Base 2 of kudu was ki. Base 2 of taberu would be the stem, tabe. And base 2 of oyogu would be oyogi. If you don't know that, that's okay. This is one of the hardest parts of Japanese, is learning to conjugate. So you have to go back and do lessons 4 and 5, or you might have to schedule a private lesson with me online so we can work through the conjugation, because this is typically not something I do to the masses. It's something I usually work on with students more individually. All right, so we take the verb, we put it in base 2, then we add tai. So for example, to study is benkyou suru. Benkyou suru. Suru in base 2 is she, so it would become benkyou shi tai. I want to study. Benkyou shitai. I want to study Japanese. Nihongo o benkyou shitai. Right? So in order to effectively use this grammar pattern, we need first to know how to conjugate, and second, we need a few more particles. So we're going to learn the particles of o, ni, and de. When you're using a verb, there's an action happening, and something's usually being affected. O marks that object. It's a direct object marker. So if you got some sushi and you're going to eat it, it would be sushi o, and then the verb to eat. Now today we're learning want to eat. So it would be sushi o, taberu is our verb to eat. Taberu in base 2, we drop the ru to get the stem. That's what base 1 and base 2 is. And then we add tai. Now to make it polite, we add des. You don't typically do that with verbs, but you do with this pattern because it kind of follows the adjective box. So it's kind of a funky exception. So, sushi o tabetai desu. I want to eat sushi. If I wanted to make it a question, I simply add ka. Sushi o tabetai desu ka? Do you want to eat sushi? Of course your answer is hai. Sushi o tabetai desu. I want to eat sushi. Sushi o tabetai desu yo. All right, now, o is going to be kind of your default. When do you not use o? When there's a direction. Ni is for directions. Maybe you want to go to the sushi place, all right? So, my favorite sushi restaurant's Big Tuna. It's closed right now, thanks COVID. I can't even get it to go. So, I would put Big Tuna, Big Tuna. Ni, and then I need the verb to go. The verb to go is iku. Iku is what kind of verb is it? It's not suru or kudu, so it's not irregular. It doesn't end with iru or edu. It's not an ichidan. By default, it is a yodan. So I'm going to use the cape series, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. So base 2 would be iki. Ika, iki, iku, ike, iko, itte, itta. Okay, so iki, I add my tai, and I get big tuna ni ikitai desu. Yo, I want to go to Big Tuna. Big Tuna ni ikitai desu yo. All right, now maybe I want to replace Big Tuna with something else. I want to go to Japan. I had a flight to Japan last month that got canceled. So I can say, Tokyo ni ikitai desu. Or, I want to go to Disneyland. Disneylando ni ikitai desu. That's how that works. So if it's a direction, you use ni. It could be a direction as in talking to your mom, or talking to anyone, or going to a location. So when you're talking about a direction, you use ni. And then we have de. De is going to be at or by the means of. So again, our default's o, and it marks an object. Something's happening to the sushi. Sushi o tabetai, I want to eat the sushi. Sushi o hakitai, I want to throw up the sushi. Sushi o kaitai, I want to buy the sushi. Something's happening to the sushi. But if I'm going somewhere, it's ni, or if it's happening at a location, then I'll use at. So, dojo de, keiko shitai desu. Keiko suru is to train. Suru, we know, is our irregular verb that is used for a lot of things, lots of nouns, attach suru to make it a verb. So base 2 of suru is, if that didn't come too quickly, again, go back and watch lesson 4. Keiko shi, add tai, make it polite with des, keep it informal without using des. You can just leave it off if you're being informal. Dojo de keiko shitai desu. I want to train at the dojo. Keiko suru. Keiko shitai desu. I want to train. Dojo de keiko shitai desu. Nihon ni ikitai desu. I want to go to Japan. Kokodo Honbu Dojo de keiko shitai desu. I want to train at the Kokodo Honbu Dojo. So this is how you use particles with verbs, action words. O for pretty much everything as the default. Ni when you want to be specific about a direction. And de when you're doing at or by the means of. So what do I mean by the means of? So I want to go to Tokyo, but I want to go by plane. That would be hikoki de ikitai desu. I want to go to LA by bus. Los Angeles ni ikitai desu. Basu de ikitai desu. So I want to go to LA, but I want to go by bus, right? Or I want to go by train. Densha de. Remember, particles come after in Japanese. So if I say densha de, it's by train. Or it could be at the train. Context. All right. So by the means of. I want to talk to my teacher in Japanese, or by the means of Japanese. So Nihongo de hanashitai desu. Eigo de hanashitai desu. I want to speak by the means of English. So again, it could mean by a mode of transportation, by a way of communication, by the means of is one way to think of it. So de is by the means of or at. I want to do something at a place, or I want to do something, or I want to, by the means of blank, I want to accomplish something. All right, so those are your particles, o, ni, and de. Use them, and they start to make sense. If you don't use them, yeah, it's confusing. All right, so now let's talk about how we can tweak. We learned the des box, and when we learned the boxes, and so lesson 3 we did this des box. And we're going to use this box for a lot of grammar. Positive, negative, present, and past. So that's how it works. When we did the des box, it was des, de wa arimasen, deshita, de wa arimasen, deshita. I am, I'm not, I was, I wasn't. Well, now we're going to do the positive, negative, and then the positive past and negative past with this tie. So for the adjective box, it's going to go I, kunai, katta, kunakatta, kunakatta. Remember when we have a double consonant? It's like you take a slight pause. Ka, pause, ta, katta. So it's not kata, it's katta, kunakatta, That's how you do that double T or double K or any double consonant, all right? And if you don't remember what a consonant is, it's pretty much every letter in the alphabet except for those 5 vowels, a, I, U, E, O. Those are your vowels, everything else is a consonant. When you have a double consonant, you gotta take the slight pause. When you have a line over a vowel, you just elongate it. All right, so, I, kunai, kata kuna kata, des, I, kunai, kata kuna kata, des. I finished the song with des because you're gonna put des at the end of it to make it polite. The only thing that comes after des is ka, to make it a question, yo, to make it an exclamation, or ne, to look for confirmation. All right, all again, this is all review, but hopefully you are reviewing. So, I, kunai, kata, kuna, kata. What this is so I take an adjective, so cold, samui. And to get the stem of an adjective, I simply drop the letter I. All right, so we said 5 vowels, right? So we have a, I, U, E, O. Adjectives always end with the letter I. So with the exception of E, if a word ends in these, it's an adjective. So samui would go here. Samui. What about takai, tall or expensive? Takai. What about atarashi, new? Atarashi, with 2 I's. What about futoi, fat? Futoi. These are all adjectives, all right? And so how it works is we drop that I to get the stem. And then we input it into the box. So, I am tall. Watashi wa takai desu. Okay? I put the I right back on for the positive present. I am not tall. Watashi wa takakunai. I was tall. Takakatta. I was not tall. Takakunakatta. All right? I'm cold. Samui desu. I'm not cold. Samukunai desu. Atsui, you could also use atsui, hot, right? So, it was hot. Atatakatta. 先週ね、暖かったですよ。本当にここは暖かった。It was so hot or warm or whatever you want to say, right? Last week. But 今週, this week, oh, 寒いですよ. It's cold. Or it's cooled off, 涼しい. So, 涼しくない. It's not very cool. It's hot. 暑いですよ. It was cold, 寒かったです. It was not cold, 寒くなかったです. So this is how adjectives work. Now we're going to go over this again, but I'm teaching you this so that we can apply it to base 2 tie. Base 2 tie is a very used, very common grammar pattern, but it's a little funky because again it has this whole des concept because it connects to this adjective box. So I'm going to treat tie like an adjective. It ends with AI. I'm going to drop I, and I get base 2 plus ta plus the adjective box. So what does that mean? That means if I want to say, I want to study Japanese, Nihongo o benkyou shitai desu. I don't want to study Japanese. Nihongo o benkyou shita kunai desu. Nihongo o benkyou shita kunai desu. I wanted to study Japanese. Now I'm going to wanted to in the past. Nihongo o benkyou shitakatta. I did not want to study Japanese. Nihongo o benkyou shitakunakatta. So you take your tai and you drop your I and then you use this box. So I might end up with, let's go through want to eat, don't want to eat, wanted to eat, didn't want to eat. So that would be tabe tai, tabe takunai, tabe takatta, and tabe takunakatta. All right, so that's how that would work. So what did I do? I took the verb to eat. I took taberu. I got the stem of that ichidan verb by dropping the ru, which gave me tabe. I'm going to add tai, tabe tai, and that means want to, eat. But if I don't want to eat, or I did want to eat, or I didn't want to eat, then I'm going to just drop the I like an adjective and add whatever I need to in the box. And that's how I'll end up with tabe, ta, tabetai, or tabe, ta, kunai, don't want to eat, don't want to verb, tabe ta kunakatta, and so on. Now this is where it gets confusing. So this is where I've probably lost, all 2 of you who actually watch these videos online, okay? And that's all right. So this is a process, so you have to go through it repeatedly. It kind of makes sense, but you don't know how to use it. And then it makes sense a little bit more, and then you're totally confused, and then you get it. And that's how it works. But this is a foreign language, guys. You cannot live in this world we're growing up in where you can yell at the people for taking 2 minutes to make your burger at In-N-Out. All right? It's going to take time. And we're so used to just sticking something in the microwave and magically we have it and we can eat it. Language takes time. So you have to put in the work. You can't just go crank out 100 push-ups if you haven't been working out in 3 months. You're going to have to build those muscles up. So work through this. There is a verb. The verb could be an irregular verb, suru, to do, kuru, to come. It can be an ichidan verb. It ends with iru or eru, like taberu or miru. Or to open, akeru. I hope we open soon, right? Or it could be, like most verbs, a yodan verb. Iku, to go. Oyogu, to swim. You have to first figure out what type of verb is it. Where does it go in the snowman? Okay, now you figured out where it goes in the snowman. Now you know the pattern. What are the 7 bases you can put that in? If it's suru, the 7 bases are shi, suru, sure, shio, shite, shita. If it's kuru, it's ko, ki, kuru, kure, koyo, kite, kita. If it's an ichidan, it's the stem dictionary form, stem plus re, stem plus yo, stem plus te, stem plus ta. And if it's a yodan, you're going to drop the last hiragana, use that series. If it's the K series, it's going to be, the stem plus kaki, kuke, ko. If it's the T series, it's going to be the stem plus ta, chi, tsu, te, to. So you have to know your hiragana series. And then you have to learn that silly song to figure out base te and base ta, right? It ends with u, tsu, or ru. It becomes the double T, E, or double ta. If it's bu, mu, or nu, nde, nda. So utsuru te, bu, manun de, ku, ite, gu, ide, sushite are the te and ta bases. So that's back to lesson 5, the one right before this. So you have to get that down. So then you can figure out, okay, I've got a verb. I know what type of verb it is. I know how to conjugate it amongst those 7 because I figured out which pattern to use. And then now it's time to actually put it into a sentence. So I need to know a grammar pattern. So your first grammar pattern is base to tie, want to verb. But I gave you a tricky one, okay? Because I want to see who's going to actually stick through this and who's going to just drop off because it's too hard to learn a language. Right? So put your whine in and figure it out. Base 2 plus tie, want to verb. But if I want to go negative with it, or in the past, then I'm going to change it. I'm going to drop the I, and I'm going to put kunai or kata or kunakata, and now I can say more than just I want to. I can say I wanted to, but now I don't want to. I wanted to eat that, sore o tabetakatta. But then you drooled all over it, and now I don't want to. Ima tabetaku nai yo. Right? We know to add des to make it polite. And if you take this further, you can start figuring out, I could do this with adjectives. Right? It isn't cold today. Kyou wa samu kunai desu yo. Or it was cold, or I was fat. Watashi wa futokatta desu. Right? Maybe I still am a little bit. All right. So, I hope it's starting to make sense. Again, if you need some extra help, send me a message. We'll set up a Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever type of video, and we can go through it more detailed for, you know, a small fee. We'll see you guys soon. Enjoy. Keep studying hard. Ganbaran bai ken ken. You gotta hang in there. All right. Talk to you later.